second sticks. Did you get that? Okay.
That'll be on the right hand.
Yep, okay, there
Ready,
we go.
John?
Yep, I'm happy.
Okay, action.
I can give you a better move than that.
Okay.
And Mark. Thank you. Let me get settled here.
John, tell me when you're ready.
Anytime, David.
Okay, action.
You know, like when we first started, you know, it was like BB, you know, he's the one who told me about BB King. My mother raised, you know, she didn't raise him, you know, but anyway, he came up with us, and he ran off from home, and so he went to Memphis, and I found him down there playing in Chambers, Mississippi, and so he made an appointment for me at Sun's studio.
Let's go to a tighter frame.
Sure.
Let's just back up a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what kind of music you grew up with. What did you hear in Clarksdale, Mississippi, as you were growing up?
Sonny Boy Williams and.
Can I ask you to start again and just say the music I listened to when I was a kid
Okay.
was?
Okay. The music I listened to when I was a kid was Sonny Boy Williams and Pine Top Perkins. He's the one that had the most influence on my playing. I saw him through a window playing piano, man, and I thought it was unbelievable somebody could move their fingers that fast, you know. And this is how I got interested in piano. And finally, he saw me looking through the window, and he invited me in. Well, you know how kids are. You ease a little bit in the door and a little bit further. So finally, he started showing me how to do the left hand, because I was fascinated. He just fascinated me, man. And so anyway, he started showing me. So then a few weeks later, I think in those days, Pine Top and Sonny Boy Williams was broadcasting from Helena, Arkansas. I don't remember the call at the radio station there, but anyway, so we met Robert Nighthawk, which was also in competition in those days. You know how Robert Nighthawk was in competition, like with Sonny Boy Williams, and anyway, Robert Nighthawk, he had a broadcast on WROX radio station in Clarksdale, and so we used to have him carry his amplifier and his guitar to the radio station, you know, just to be around music, you know, and so this is how I got really interested in music from the beginning.
Great. Let's cut here for a second.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tell me a little bit about the radio in those days, in the early 50s, when you had a program on WROX. What were the white stations playing? What were the black stations playing? Was it really separated?
Was it separated? Man, yeah. Yes, God. But anyway, I was working at the Alcazar Hotel in Clarksdale as driving the elevator there in the building, and which is the same station where Robert Nighthawk was broadcasting. He was broadcasting in the same building. And anyway, it was a white disc jockey named John Frisk Killers. He was playing. He wasn't playing, but anyway, the popular groups in those days was Jimmy Liggins, Joe Liggins, all of the old stuff. Oh man. Well, anyway, first I go back to Lena Horne, man, when she did Stormy Weather and all this kind of stuff, man. Like she was like my idol. I was just in love with that lady, man. And anyway, this guy, John Frisk Killers, the disc jockey at the radio station, well, in those, he had the two turntables there, and he finally let me. I would be standing there every day when I get out of school, looking at him, and so finally he would let me come inside, and he would let me hold the record and tell me, okay, when this one stops, let this one go, and this stop, let this go. So, you know, to a kid, man, this is like fun to me, you know. So, finally, man, he went across the street, started going across the street to get coffee, and the manager of the station caught me in there. It wasn't nobody there but me. But anyway, he didn't. I don't guess he got ball out or nothing about it. They started letting me uh, put in the commercials, and they started teaching me the stuff to do at the station. Then finally they gave Robert Nighthawk 15 minutes more per day to do, and then they let me, when I get out of school every day, they let me come by and gave me a half an hour to just play records. And but what we were playing, I was just playing stuff by Roy Milton. See, man, this is a long time ago, man, to try to remember. You know, we're talking about, what, 40, 50 years ago or more. But anyway, I remember Roy Milton because he was on a MGM label, and they had a specialty label in those days. I can't remember the artists too much, man. That's kind of back there a little bit.
Yeah, let's go into the title show.
Sure.
But maybe you could just explain to our audience, a lot of whom are going to be young people. They don't,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
just that the fact that what kind of music the white stations were playing versus what kind of music the black stations were playing.
Okay, as an example, if you listen to the black radio stations, they was doing more stuff like more blues, like I would say. And they was singing like, I don't want no woman if her hair ain't no long in mine. You know, she keep you. I don't want a woman if her hair ain't no longer in mine. She keep you buying rats and wigs all the time. And if you listen to the white radio station, they talking about all them up and when you come down, swing that pretty girl round and around. You know, it just. But anyway, still guitar rag. You know, but anyway, my favorite music, man, believe it or not, is country. You know, but that's the kind of stuff we were doing those days. And then you had Amos Milburn. That's right. That's another one. Just the name's coming back. Amos Milburn. He was another did Bad Whiskey. I don't know if you ever heard that song. But anyway, it's like the music was different because like in those days, man, you find a piano player. It wasn't a guy that just played this stuff. Yeah, you know, it wasn't like that. A guy, man, he had a left hand, and I mean he could play. You know, I mean he could do both hands. But where today, man, the kids today, I don't guess they're around a lot of guys that can really play, man, like. Song like Down the Road. Do you remember Swanee River Boogie? Well, anyway, I'll play it for you. Maybe you remember. I played just a little of it. They used to have this for Nashville, in Nashville, Tennessee. This is like, you could hear all over the complete South in those days, man, in the early 50s and the late 40s. This was his theme song from Nashville, Tennessee. Like that, you know, but anyway, I just love the right hand with the left hand. Where today, man, you got to have a rhythm session. You got to have one guy, a bass player, to play the bass, for another guy to play the right hand. You know, you can't get one guy. You know, like in those days, everybody had a part to play. You know, and I think music's gonna get back around to being music again.
That was great. Thank you. Do you recall when you were young listening to WLAC out of Nashville? And
That's where that came from.
Like Hoss Allen and John R. and
John R. Yeah,
those kind of people?
yeah, John R. That was what was not Pastor Vissy. Okay, I'm trying to think. What was that guy's slogan he used on WLAC in Nashville, Tennessee?
Gene Nobles.
Gene Nobles. Yeah, okay, right. Gene Nobles. Yeah, because he was the one using that Swanee River Boogie thing.
Well, maybe we're gonna put on another load of film.
Right. Oh, you know what I really think?
You to tell me, yeah. I want to ask you about these. Okay, John, tell me when you're ready.
I'm there and I'm on a wide shot.
Okay, tell me about what Dewey Phillips was doing in Memphis.
Well, I'll start before that. What actually happened? I left Mississippi, man, and went to Memphis, and this was during the time when I recorded Rocket 88, right back during that time. I went to West Memphis, and well, first of all, I ran into a modern record company, Joe Harry, and he saw me play piano. He was around Phineas Newman and them, all of them, the father, the son, and run this bunch. And anyway, I moved over into West Memphis, man, and started playing with Little Junior Parker and Willie Nix, and we all were just Guitar Murphy, all these guys. Anyway, we was all playing on West Memphis. But this is during the time that Elvis Presley was driving a gravel truck, and we were playing on 11th Street there, and they didn't let whites into this club where we were. Well, but it was the whole black street. They gambled on 11th Street there. And anyway, this guy, man, but at that time, I didn't know who Elvis Presley was. But anyway, I didn't even know the guy was a musician. He was just a guy that I liked. He liked music, so I liked him because he liked music. I'm just assuming that was it. But anyway, we had some form of rapport together. So I would slip him into the back of the club, man, into the back. The piano was sitting like this, and the back door was sitting. And anyway, I would sit him and have him behind the piano, because in those days I would stand up and play the piano, and I would be playing the piano backwards and just clowning with the piano. But I never knew that this guy was even an entertainer. So meantime, I'm just assuming a year or so or whatever, could have been months or whatever. Well, I hear this blue suede shoes, but I don't never put this with this guy at all. I don't even connect the two. And then what's this other guy named that played this boogie woogie piano? Oh God, man, I'm no good at names. Wait a minute. Jerry Lee Lewis, yeah. Woo.
Okay, now we can start talking about Jerry Lee Lewis.
Okay. But anyway, man, it's like I always had a right hand and a left hand on piano. But anyway, these guys started playing like the way that I was playing. But it was just something that I thought this is the way a piano was supposed to be played. You know, I wasn't trying to do nothing different when I cut Rocket 88. It was just that's the way I thought the instrument was supposed to be played. So anyway, next thing I know, man, we were listening to Red Hot and Blue. What's his name? Phillips. He was in the Peabody Hotel there in Memphis, man. And anyway, they were playing all of this stuff, man. And it sounded like, man, it sounded like they just recorded part of things. That's the way it sounded to me. It was them playing it. You know, I've seen the guy play doing all this stuff on the piano. But that's the way I would clown and stuff. So it's almost like they was taking what I was doing, man, and they was putting it on this radio station where WDIA radio station in Memphis. You can't hear it 10 miles out of town. No, let me stop. Anyway, WDIA, well, you know, a black radio station, you ain't gonna hear too far anyway, but WDIA was pretty powerful. But that station where Phillips was on Red Hot and Blue, you could hear that thing, man, 200 or 300 miles away. Well, anyway, they had the cloud. So anyway, we started. That's when I met what his name, Joe Harry with the Modern Record Company, and so he wanted me to scout for talent for him. And this is when we cut Howlin' Wolf, and we recorded. Well, I had to play a little of the song, man, because I remember just like it was yesterday. Just like my fingers now, you look at my fingers like this. It fits exactly on the piano, exactly. And we cut that song out. See. Wait. I forgot. Anyway, I know it. How many more years by Howlin' Wolf? So we cut that song in Morning at Midnight, and that's when they started. Sam Phillips started wanting me to play on a lot of other stuff. And later, some years later in Las Vegas, I was playing the main room in the International Hotel, and Elvis Presley was in the main room. And one night, man, I won $490,000, and I was coming down through the back. I had all these big old rack of chips and stuff. And this white guy with this collar, I knew Elvis was in the main room, but you know, I never was interested in other acts. You know, it just I've always just interested in my, you know, like if I get to know you, okay, but for me to go over there, Red Fox was in the lounge also at that time. Anyway, I was walking down through there pushing this rack with all of these chips on there that I had won that night, and this guy said, "Hey, you don't remember me?" And I said, "No." And so that's when he told me that he was the one that used to come to West Memphis and I hide behind the piano. in his black clubs. It was amazing.
Be on the tight shot. Let's
Okay.
start up again. I just want to make sure we get this story. We're gonna need a slate.
You speeding there? Camera's turning. Mark. You said, I'm sorry, you was on a wide shot. It was a
On tight, please. We were wide before, right?
we went into tight. I'm sorry. Yes, we were wide before.
Yeah, let's be tight. Could you tell me again, just fairly briefly, how you would snuck Elvis into the black clubs?
Well, the club, in other words, it was an alley in the back. 11th Street is like the street, and it's an alley in the back. It's a row of clubs there, and he would park his truck in the alley behind the club.
I'm going to ask you to start again. Could you use his name so we'll be sure we know who you're talking about?
Oh, okay.
Could you start over?
Okay, well, anyway, on 11th Street in East St. Louis is where they gamble, and they have clubs, black clubs there where they...
I got to stop, please. Let's go for a second. I just want to make sure we get...
Hang on, let me get this squared away. Okay.
Tell me that again.
Okay, in West Memphis, Arkansas, right across from Memphis, Tennessee, where we were playing at over there on 11th Street, where they gamble, and they have little juke joint clubs where Willie Nix played, was one, and Junior Parker and everybody was playing. Well, Elvis Presley, which is known today as Elvis Presley, he was driving a gravel truck, and he used to come around through the alley to the back of this place, and my piano, not this time, it was the old upright piano, was sitting right by the door, and I had it pulled out from the wall to where I could kind of face the audience, because if it's flat against the wall, I'd be looking straight across. So I wanted to see the audience, so I had to pull out. Well, the distance that I would pull it from the wall was where he would be behind the piano. And when he would watch me play, that's where when you see him stand up, he'd be doing his legs, when he'd be playing with the guitar. All this came from back in those days when we used to do it,
But in those days, did a white person have to be snuck in? Was there no white?
Well, I guess a white person can go where you want to, but if you're black, you can't go where you want to go. But anyway, blacks in the South, we've never been like that prejudiced as far as towards whites. In other words, like I say it like this. A white man could go anywhere he want to go. In other words, like a white man could go to a white hotel, and he could say he want a room for his maid, and he'd put a room in there, a bed in there. You better not be black and go there talk about. I mean a show, but no. My point is like I never felt that blacks had prejudice towards whites in the South. All of this stuff came up later in the later years when you came up with Stokely Carmichael and Muhammad Ali. Well, in other words, all this stuff came up in the 60s when they started the freedom ride and stuff like this. But back in those days, we weren't thinking of race. We just accepted that we were black and that they are white. So in other words, if I went to a white person's door, I didn't think. I just went to the back door and I knocked on his door. I wasn't thinking that I was at the back door. We didn't care. Like today, it's an insult to even suggest something like that. But then, man, it was something that was accepted, And him being white, what were they gonna do to him if they caught him in the club anyway? I mean, the blacks, he was just a white guy standing there looking as far as the blacks is concerned. The only somebody would say something would be a police, and he wouldn't say anything himself,
Great. Let's talk about who you feel that you influenced. You were starting to talk about Jerry Lee. Do you think Little Richard, too, took something from your styles and Jerry Lee, both of them?
Well, it's like I know Little Richard real well. And Little Richard told me, maybe 8-10 months ago, the intro to Rocket 88, he told me he stole that from me. It's on one of his records. I don't know. That's the same intro as on it. He was saying that he used to steal all of my stuff. But I never, I would be stealing off of Amos Milburn's, Joe Liggett, whatever I could hear, because I never read music, didn't read. So whatever I hear, I would play it. And so it wasn't like stealing. It was like you just do what it sounded good or felt good to you.
Great. Let me ask you this. When you went to Memphis as a young man, did you go to Beale Street? Could you just kind of describe what Beale Street was like in the late 40s, early 50s? Or-
Well, you know, I was just there 3 weeks ago, and the only thing I really see different is right on Bill and Hernando over there is different. There used to be a pawn shop set there on the corner. When you come right there, there used to be a pawn shop set right there. They had a big baritone, a big bass saxophone set in the window. But you know, basically, I went to BB's club. Basically, I think it still feels kind of the same. I'm not sure. I can't really say, but in those days, because you know, coming from Mississippi. Excuse me, I was born in Clarksdale, which is 61 miles from there. And come to Memphis, man, that's like going into a city. Well, you know, like today, man, I've been all over the world, and to look at Memphis, I can't compare my feeling about it. Do you understand? Like I saw B.B. King's club the other day, so it's just another club to me, but it's still Beale Street, you know. Because back in those days we played the W.C. Handy Theater. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one of the first big jobs I played. I don't forget where it was in Memphis, but it was fun.